Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like this video and press the bell icon. Tailwind CSS is a powerful utility-first CSS framework that allows you to build modern, responsive web interfaces with ease. However, unlike Bootstrap, Tailwind CSS does not come with an integrated library like Popper.js for handling tooltips, popovers, dropdowns, and modals. With Tailwind CSS, you'll need to write the JavaScript code yourself to manage these interactive components. In this video, you will learn how to create a Tailwind CSS dropdown menu using Angular 18. Let's see the demo. If you click on the Account button, the dropdown will open with 3 links. Clicking the Account button again will close the dropdown menu. If you click outside the dropdown menu, it will close as well. Let's get started. In this tutorial, I'll be using Angular 18, which I've already downloaded. If you're interested in learning how to install Angular 18 on your Windows system, click the I button to watch the video. However, the same code will work in Angular 17 as well. First, let's install Tailwind CSS. Open your browser and navigate to tailwindcss.com. Click on the docs link. Now click on Framework Guides. Click on Angular. Here you will see steps to install and set up Tailwind CSS in an Angular project. First we will install Tailwind via npm and then run the init command to generate tailwind.config.js file. Copy this command. Click here and open a new terminal. Paste the command which you have copied in your terminal. It will take some time to install Tailwind CSS, so please wait until the download is complete. The download is complete. Now we need to generate tailwind.config.js file. Copy this code. Paste the code in your terminal. You can see that tailwind.config.js file is generated. Now we need to add the paths to template files in tailwind.config.js file. Copy this highlighted code. Paste the copied code here. Now we need to add Tailwind directives to styles.css file. Click here to copy the code. Open styles.css file. Paste the code which you have copied. Now, first we will add Tailwind CSS utility classes, and then we will run our app. Click here to copy the code. Open app.component.html file. Remove this code and then paste the code which you have copied. Let's add the text, green, 500 class to make the text green. Now click here and select Command Prompt to open a new command prompt. Type the command ngserve to run our app. Go to your browser and navigate to localhost :4200. You can see that Tailwind CSS classes have been applied to the text, indicating that Tailwind CSS has been installed successfully. Now let's create a navbar with drop-down menu. Click here and select Command Prompt to open a new command prompt. Type the command G C navbar and press Enter. Here G is for generate, C is for component and navbar is the component name. You can see that navbar component CSS, HTML, spec.ts and .ts files are created. Open app.component.ts file and add navbar component in the imports array and import it. Now open app.component.html file and add app navbar selector. Go to your browser and you will see navbar works. Let's create navbar with drop-down menu. Open navbar.component.html file. Remove this code and add a div element. First add the class bggray 800 for a dark gray background. Then add md.flex for a flexbox layout on medium and larger screens. Next, add md.justify between to distribute space between items. After that, add md.itemCenter to align items vertically within the flex container on medium and larger screens. Then add md.px4 to apply horizontal padding of 1 rem on medium and larger screens. Finally, add md.py3 to apply vertical padding of 0.75 rem on medium and larger screens. In this div element, first we will add a logo. For the logo, we will add an SVG icon from Hero Icons. Go to your browser and open heroicons.com website. Press Ctrl+F and search for Cloud. Click on Copy SVG to copy this SVG icon. Paste the copied SVG icon here. Add class textWhite to display the SVG icon in white color. Open app.component.html file. Add a div element with the classes bg_slate 900 and hscreen to set the background color to a very dark slate gray and make the height of the div equal to the full height of the viewport. Cut this app navbar selector and paste it inside the div element. Go to your browser and you will see navbar with the SVG icon. Now let's add a nav link and drop-down menu in this navbar. Open navbar.component.html file. Add a nav element. In this nav element, add the class px2 for horizontal padding of 0.5 rem, pt2 for top padding of 0.5 rem. Then add pb4 for bottom padding of 1 rem. After that add md.flex for flexbox layout on medium screens and larger. Next add md.p0 to remove padding on medium screens and larger. Finally, add max h120px to set a maximum height of 120 pixels. Inside this nav element, add an anchor tag with the href attribute. Then add the class block to make the link a block level element. Next, add px4 for horizontal padding of 1 rem and py2 for vertical padding of 0.5 rem. After that add text, gray 100 to set the text color to light gray. Then use hover bg amber 500 to change the background color to amber when the link is hovered over. Finally, add mr4 to apply a right margin of 1 rem. Add the text dashboard inside the anchor tag. Go to your browser, and you will see a link with the text dashboard. Hover over the link, and you will see the background color changes. Now let's add the drop-down menu. Here add a div element. Add the class relative to position the element relative to its normal position, which allows you to position child elements absolutely within it. Next, add the class mt2 to apply a top margin of 0.5 rem on all screen sizes. Finally, add the class mt0 to remove the top margin on medium and larger screens. Inside this div element, add a button with class textWhite to set the text color to white. Then add bggray 600 to set the background color to dark gray. Then use hover bggray 500 to change the background color to lighter gray when the button is hovered over. Then use Focus Outline None to remove the outline when the button is focused. After that add px4 to add horizontal padding of 1 rem. Next add py2 to add vertical padding of 0.5 rem. After that add rounded MD to round the corners of the button. Next add the class inlineFlex to display the button as an inlineFlex container. Finally, add the class itemCenter to align the items vertically within the button. Within the button element, add the text account to display the button text. Go to your browser and you will see the button with the text account. In the button element we will add a chevron SVG icon. Go to Hero Icons website and search for chevron. Click on chevron down and copy the SVG. Paste the SVG icon after button text account. Go to your browser and you will see chevron down SVG icon with the button. The size of the SVG is large, so let's change its width and height. First change stroke width to 4. Now remove the class size 6 and add the classes W4 and H4 to set the width and height of the SVG to 1 rem. Finally, add the class ML2 to add a left margin of 0.5 rem. Go to your browser and now you will see that the height and width of the SVG icons have changed. Now we will add the links to the drop-down menu so that when we click on the button, the drop-down menu links should open. Add a div element after the closing button. Add class MD, absolute to position the element absolutely on medium and larger screens. Then add the class right 0 to align the element to the right side of its container. After that, add the class MT2 to add a top margin of 0.5 rem on all screen sizes. Then add W48 to set the width of the element to 12 rem. Next add BG Gray 600 to set the background color to a dark gray. Then add rounded MD to round the corners of the element. After that, add shadow LG to add a large shadow to the element. Finally, add Z10 to set the stacking order of the element to 10, ensuring it appears above other elements. Inside this div element, we will add the drop-down links. Copy this anchor tag. Paste it here 3 times. Replace first link text with edit profile. Replace second link text with change password. Replace third link text with sign out. Go to your browser and you will see the drop-down links under the drop-down button. Now, we need to add the functionality so that if we click on the drop-down button, the drop-down links will be displayed. Clicking again on the drop-down button will hide the drop-down links. Open navbar.component.ts file. Initialize a property called isDropdownOpen and set its initial value to false. This is used to keep track of whether the drop-down menu is currently open or closed. Create a method, toggleDropdown. Inside this method, add this.isDropdownOpen equals not this.isDropdownOpen, which will invert the current state of isDropdownOpen. If isDropdownOpen is true, it will become false, and if it's false, it will become true. Open navbar.component.html file. Now, in the div element, we will add the ng class directive to dynamically apply CSS classes based on the isDropdownOpen property. We use the ternary operator to apply different classes based on isDropdownOpen's value. Use the isDropdownOpen property with the ternary operator. In single quotes, add the classes transition, ease out, duration, 300, transform, opacity, 100, scale, 100 for smooth fade-in animation with a duration of 300 milliseconds when isDropdownOpen is true. Then add a colon for the condition when isDropdownOpen is false. In single quotes, add transition, ease in, duration, 75, transform, opacity, 0, scale, 95 for a smooth fade-out animation with a duration of 75 milliseconds. This makes the element invisible and slightly smaller when is dropdown open is false. You will see an error, can't bind to ng class error. To fix this we need to add common module in the imports array in navbar.component.ts file. Add common module in imports array and import it from @angular/common. Open navbar.component.html file. Here in the button element, we will add a click event that triggers the toggle dropdown method when the button is clicked. Go to your browser, click on the dropdown button, and you will see that it opens and displays the dropdown menu with links. Clicking again on it will close the dropdown menu. The dropdown menu will open and close with a smooth animation effect. Now, we need to implement the functionality to close the dropdown when we click outside of it. But before that, let me show you another way to use ng class directive. Open navbar.component.html file. Select this section of code and duplicate it. Comment out the first one. You can also use the ng class directive as shown below. Go to your browser and you will see that the drop-down menu is working the same as before. Open navbar.component.ts file. Instead of importing common module, you can still use ng class and the drop-down will work the same as before. Go to your browser and you will see that the drop-down menu is working the same as before. Now, let's add the functionality to close the drop-down when we click outside of it. Here we will use @hostListener decorator, which lets you bind event listeners to the host element. The decorator accepts an event name and an optional array of arguments. First, add the @hostListener decorator and import it from @angular/core. Then, in parentheses, add document::click in single quotes, which specifies the event we are listening to, in this case, a click event on the document. Add a comma, then in square brackets, add $event in single quotes, which is used to capture the event object, $event, emitted by the event listener when the event is triggered. Now, define onClick method, which takes a mouse event object as a parameter. In the curly brackets, create a constant variable target and set its value to event.target as HTML element to get the HTML element that was clicked and assign it to the target variable. Then add another constant variable clicked inside. Now set its value to target.closest, in parentheses add .relative in single quotes to use the closest method. This checks if the clicked element or any of its ancestors have a class of relative. Here you can see class relative. Now we use an if condition to check if the click occurred outside the element with class relative. If clicked outside, set is dropdown open to false to close the dropdown. Go to your browser and click on the dropdown to open it. Now, click outside the dropdown, and you will see that it closes. You can see that the dropdown is now opening and closing smoothly by clicking on the dropdown button and also by clicking outside. In this video, we learned how to create a drop-down menu using Tailwind CSS and Angular 18. If you're interested in a tutorial on creating a responsive navbar with a drop-down menu using Tailwind CSS and Angular 18, just leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in next tutorial. Till then, stay safe.